When you're working with numerous objects, it can be convenient to create relationships between them. For example, I'm pretending that I have a character here, and the character has a magic wand, and I want to be able to have that move with the character. Oh, the character also has a little hat. So even though this is really simple example, with just three objects, it could be kind of painful to have to select these constantly all together. Like if I wanted to say rotate all of the objects that make up the character together, I'd hate to have to select everything. Like I'd hate to have to hold, say, shift down, or rather control, and then continue selecting more things. It'd be super labor intense. I couldn't even remember the shortcut for a second there. But let me just show you a different way. You can work with creating a hierarchy over here among the game objects in the hierarchy panel. So you can see under my scene, each separate object listed. And I want to remind you really quick that it's so useful to name things. So I have named this cube hat, and this one is the magic wand, and then this capsule is the hero character. And what I'm going to do right now is create a parent-child relationship by just dragging the child objects onto a parent. So hero is sort of my main character, main object. So I'm going to take magic wand, and you just drag and then kind of let go right on top of it, and it looks like it's indented or underneath it. Careful that it's not just moved. So if you let go and it's in between them, you can drag again. And I also dragged and added the hat to hero. So you could say hero is a parent, magic wand and hat are children of the parent. And then this will be helpful for doing transformations. You could say that if you choose the parent object and do something through transform or through your tools, you'll find it affects the children too. So I'm just going to click on hero in the list to select the parent. And then as an example, I'm going to switch to rotate tool, and I'll start to rotate. And you can see that the children are moving with the parent. All three objects are moving together. So basically you're creating a transform relationship that if the measurements being recorded over here are assigned to the parent, and they're automatically occurring on the children objects too. So really super convenient. Just select it with one click in the hierarchy list, and then you can scale, rotate, or do movements. Like I could switch to the move tool and change position, and you can again see that if I move the parent, the children move right along with it. Another use for parenting is just to organize your hierarchy. You may have a scene with hundreds of objects. It might be difficult to find them or organize them. So you can kind of think about creating parent game objects and then adding children to it as you go along. Just for example, I have created so far sort of a wall and a floor, and I'll be adding more components to that to construct a little building. This cube, by the way, is going to represent a second character, hero 2. But I can start to anticipate that I want to organize these elements and make the hierarchy simpler. And then I also am ready to transform them as a group. So I'll show you that another way to create parents is that you can insert an empty game object. That might look funny to go game object, create empty, but you can think of it as sort of like an empty folder that you can add objects to as you go along. So I'm just going to do that. I'll hit create empty. You see an empty game object. All it has over here in terms of components is just transform. There's no appearance to it in a sense. But again, you can view it almost like a folder in a way to organize the hierarchy. So I'm just going to name that building, and then maybe I'll move it up here, and then I want to drag objects to it that are going to become children. So I'll take the floor, just drag it on top of building. I'll drag wall, and I again have created the parent-child relationship. So first, it could be helpful just to be able to collapse some of these parent objects to make the scene more organized, easier to access groups of things. So that is one reason to add these empty game objects. And then I can also anticipate needing to do things like maybe I want to move the whole building together separately from the hero object. I just need to select the parent object in the hierarchy list, and then I'll go to move tool, and you can see again that all the children are moving along with the parent object. So that was interesting. Again, you can insert empty game object in order to organize things, or you can choose one kind of that you already have and drag objects on top of it to create the parent-child relationship. You can have more than one level, by the way, like the floor can be made up out of more than one piece. And it's recommended for performance purposes that you try not to go deeper than 2 levels to keep it running efficiently. So think about where that might be useful. This could be important to help you organize your project by using parenting in children.